We might have some here. Oh, we might be live. Hi, I think we're live. Hello. I think we're live. Um, I got my four fingers up because this is the fourth time I tried to get on here, and the fourth time is the charm. And then I was going to go live on Instagram, and apparently I'm blocked from going live on Instagram, and I don't know why. I don't do too much. That's a mess. Like, so I'm gonna try to get through this live if I'm allowed to. Um, I might have to. I have a website, thechildsupporthustle.com. So you guys, if but if for whatever reason I can't come live on here, and y'all, I don't fool with Facebook too often, but I'm not going to start going live back on there because I already know how they do. They'll distort my videos. My videos will disappear, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not even going to go backwards. I don't hustle backwards at all. So I'm not going to try to do that, but I'm going to look at some other ways to make my videos because this is, I mean, it's too much. So by the time I'm finally on here, I'm all frustrated, but I'm still make the video. Hi, Fred. Um, so I'm going to go ahead. My name is Rahmaan, the author and founder of the Child Support Hustle. I hope everybody's doing well. This was today, Sunday evening. I am doing fabulous, just a little frustrated, but it is what it is. Today, this evening, I want to talk about um, fatherlessness and the violence that is occurring during these custody exchanges, and why none of the people, the government included, government officials, the pundits, the people that are always talking about fatherlessness and um, the problems that occur because of fatherlessness, why nobody is saying anything when this violence and tragedies occur during these custody exchanges when these men want to be fathers. And before I get into that, let me pull up my notes because I was trying to get on here, so I didn't have all my stuff together because I just knew it wasn't gonna work. So before, let me give y'all just a little bit of background. So when I started advocating for child support, I wasn't really paying attention to all of the fatherlessness rhetoric and the movement, the fatherless epidemic that people were talking about and what was going on in the news. I was so focused on child support and child support reform and abolishing the child support system and ending debtor prisons and all that kind of stuff. So the fatherlessness part of it was totally new to me. Um, Later on, I started hearing about the shared parenting problem and the what is it, parental alienation and things like that, and then talking to parents and talking to other people in fathers' rights organizations. And let me say this real quick, and I always like to say it. I understand that mothers are alienated, and they go through these same problems that fathers do. However, fathers are the majority that go through these shared parenting issues and parental alienation. Fathers are the most affected by this because the system is biased towards fathers. So, full disclaimer, I know moms pay child support, moms go through this. I understand that, but fathers are the most negatively affected by this whole system. So I wasn't really aware of the fatherlessness epidemic that people were talking about. So I started really paying attention because um, I started seeing it more and more a few years ago. And some I don't remember if I saw it on Twitter. I saw it somewhere. Oh, I remember exactly what it was. it was LeBron James. He had did something, and somebody that I found out always talked about fatherlessness and the problems and everything like that made reference to LeBron James and fatherlessness. And it struck me as odd, considering that LeBron James is married to the mother of his children and is, from all accounts that I see, a great father. So it made me look at it more like, what are they talking about? This fatherless thing? Like, what is this? And so I started looking at it more and start seeing the negative connotations that the fatherlessness epidemic was pushing. It had been pushing for a very long time. So then I started, doing some research and things like that. And I've always wondered after that, like, why are they pushing this and saying all the negative things that happen with fatherlessness? And because of fatherlessness, are doing nothing to correct the problems that they say are the result of fatherlessness, like 50-50 shared parenting, no child support. Because if you have your child 50% of the time and the other parent, the mother, has the child 50% of the time, then why would anybody have to pay anything? So you'll see, like in my posts and my research and my articles and stuff, you'll see me start talking more about 50-50 equals zero, 50-50 shared parenting equals zero child support, and things like that, because a father has a right to his child just as much as the mother does. And because of how the system is set up, it gives that mother complete control over their child when the father has equal rights to their child. But that's not how the court sees it. So I never could understand that. Like, why is that? But everything revolves around money. And as long as they have these parents conflicting and has one parent in total control, they rule everything. And that's where the problems come up. Then I look deeper into it. Fatherlessness and the statistics that they put out with 3 million children are fatherless, or 3.1 million or something like that. Well, you go look deeper, you see that these children aren't fatherless. It's just that these children are living in single parent homes. They're not living in two-parent homes. Well, we know that because the father or the mother doesn't live in a home with their child because they're not married or they're separated, whatever, that does not make that child fatherless. That means that their father doesn't live there. And so when you hear the fatherless epidemic rhetoric, you have to look deeper, because these children aren't fatherless that they're talking about. These children have fathers. They're just not home. They don't live there. So that's blatantly false. So the epidemic that they've been pushing is fake. These children aren't fatherless. Especially with the opium problem that we have right now, a lot of grandparents are raising children, their daughters' children. So we don't call those children motherless because they're living in their grandparents' house and their mom isn't there. Those children aren't motherless. So why would the children that live in their mother's home and their father lives somewhere else, why would they be fatherless? So that's false. So that's why I talk a lot more about the fatherlessness epidemic that's going on. And the next thing, and I did a video, both the article that I wrote and the video that I did are in the description. You can't call these children fatherless if you don't let them be fathers to their children. If you do not stop parental alienation, then you cannot call these fathers abandoners and say that their children are fatherless. That is hypocritical and it should be criminal. Now you have a bunch of fathers out here that want to be fathers, that are begging judges for them to be fathers, that are begging the mothers to let them be fathers. And we have fathers, which I'm going to get into, that are literally dying, being killed, trying to be fathers, leaving their children truly fatherless. These children are really fatherless, not what they're telling you because the dad doesn't live in the same house as their child. That is not fatherless. Let me see. So that was my segue into these tragedies that are going on, that remarkably, as much as these people talk about fatherlessness and how much that contributes to the crime rate, teenage pregnancy, everything is bad. The social ills, I read this, social ills are all contributed to fatherless children. All this is going on, and nobody is saying anything about these fathers getting killed at custody exchanges. So politicians, pundits, and lobbyists for shared parenting often complain about the fatherlessness epidemic that they claim can be blamed on the problems of society dating back to the 1960s. That's how long this has been going on, and they haven't fixed the problem yet. They think marriage is going to fix the problem of fatherlessness, if there is a problem, because you just let these fathers be fathers. I just solved it in how long? How long I've been on? About 10 minutes. Damn, problem solved. That's why they made me come on here four times before they let my video roll. Let me stop before they cut me off. Like they did last time. And since then, there have been reports of parents being murdered in one form or another over being denied access to their children. Lately, there have been an increase of fathers being murdered who are trying to be fathers to their children. And the same people who complain about the fatherless problem are silent on the need to pass equal rights when it comes to parenting, so that tragedies like murders do not continue to happen. This should be like this should be a bipartisan bill. Let's write it up real quick, push it through. That should be it. Let's be honest. The government is to blame for the father. Oh, I put that in the description. Okay, so in November of last year, Father Chad Reed was killed by his ex-wife's boyfriend while trying to pick up his son. Y'all remember down here in Lubbock, Texas? I did a video about that. I put that in the description. He was shot dead during an argument. Oh, shoot. He was shot dead during an argument, and an arrest wasn't made until I think it was weeks later, because the shooter was married to a judge down in Lubbock. So they didn't even arrest the man. So since then, that was in November. So just this year, what I'm about to talk about has occurred since the beginning of 2022. There have been 3 incidents during custody exchanges where fathers were trying to be fathers to their children. The first occurred in White Pine, Tennessee on January 3rd. There were 3 people involved in this tragedy: the father, Christopher Welch, stepfather Ken Cook, and a 16-year-old teenager, Tegan Welch. The facts in the case, according to Ashley Sharp from WJHO Channel 11 News, are as follows. Christopher Welch brought his daughter Tegan to a local gas station for a custody swap. They met Tegan's stepfather and an unidentified 4th family member there. The police arrived and 911 was called with reports of an active shooter. Police arrived and identified There was no active shooter, and the events of the shooting had already transpired. There were 3 victims, all with gunshot wounds. Christopher Welch, the dad, was pronounced dead at the scene. Tegan and her stepfather were both transported to University of Tennessee Medical Center in critical condition, where they both died from their injuries. The 4th unidentified family member was not injured. So far, there are no details into what led up to the dispute. There's no mention of Tegan's mother or any child support issues. But typically, there was probably some child support involved. There was, some conflict going on, because that's what leads up to this stuff. People don't just get shot and killed in custody in any of this stuff. In fact, there's some conflict because nobody's doing anything but talking. When I say nobody, I'm talking about the higher ups, the powers that be. They're not doing anything. The child in this case is a teen, so more than capable of speaking for herself and saying where she wants to live. So yet there are 3 deceased people as a result at this custody exchange. The custody exchanges should not be a deadly transaction. This situation is a little more extraordinary considering the age of the child involved, and that the mother has not been mentioned as a suspect in this case. I'll continue to monitor and let you guys know what I find out in this case, because I want to know where mom is. Why would whoever was shot first, why was daughter killed? But the bottom line is, why was something deadly like this happen in a custody exchange? The next killing occurred in Virginia on the 17th of January. According to Cameron Thompson of WTVR CBS 6, 33-year-old Stuart D. Jeffries of Richmond, Virginia, was shot and killed during a custody exchange outside of a Chesterfield police station on January 17th. The police confirmed that Jeffries and another party, which included the 8-year-old daughter, her mother, and the mother's boyfriend, what was he doing there anyway, met to complete the custody exchange. An off-duty officer, now mind you, this is in a police parking lot, police station parking lot. An off-duty officer was working in his patrol vehicle in the station parking lot, but was facing away from where the custody exchange took place. Other Chesterfield officers arrived following the shooting and provided first aid to the father, who was pronounced dead at the scene. Jeffrey's cousin said that he was dropping his daughter off following a weekend with her when he was killed. She said, quote, "He was an awesome father. He will do anything for his daughter. That was his pride and joy," end quote. The story is still developing, and according to the article, they're still, trying to work out everything. But what was the boyfriend even doing there? If this was father and mother, he's dropping his daughter off to the mother. What does the boyfriend have to do with anything at all? And why was he carrying a gun to a custody exchange that had nothing to do with him? Now, this young girl has no father. She's truly fatherless. Now, where's everybody complaining and bitching about fatherlessness? Where are you? This guy was, 33 with an 8-year-old. Now she has to grow up without a dad. Clearly, this man was violent, the shooter. So what was he even doing around this man's daughter? But I'm sure if he would have made a complaint, allegedly, and said that this man was violent, they probably would have said, so what? You don't have any rights. Mom has all the rights. That's a problem. You can't blame these men and call these men fatherless, these fathers abandoners and deserters, and not let them be fathers. Shame on these United States for allowing this shit to happen. Shame on y'all. My question is, where are all the people who are always screaming about the incredibly high numbers of children growing up fatherless, which we know is not true? Where are the people who blame crime rates and teenage pregnancy on fatherlessness, which we just know that just the fatherlessness means that they don't live under the same roof. I looked and I did not see one of those many people, because I look at, their social media pages. I didn't see anybody complaining that shared parenting should follow a presumption rule to ensure the safety of children and the non-custodial parent, so that tragedies can decrease and so that the number of children growing up without fathers will decrease, so that they're both a decrease. I ain't seen anybody even discussing these tragedies, but I bet they'll post about fatherlessness again. The third murder happened in my home state of Ohio. Go Bucks. 24-year-old Christopher D. Sayers was shot and killed on January 31st in LaGrange Township at approximately 8:35 p.m. Olivia Mitchell of Cleveland.com reported that Sayers and his ex-girlfriend had a child custody exchange earlier Sunday. Sayers was later involved in an altercation with the woman's current boyfriend. These damn new boyfriends who probably won't stick around, probably won't even be there, but you think you have a right to take this baby's father from him or her just because you having sex with the mama temporarily. Didn't even marry her, but you feel like you can take the father away. Mm-hmm. Sayers was later involved in the altercation. I know I already read it, but I'm going to read it again because it's the nerve. Involved in an altercation with the woman's current boyfriend, which ended in a deadly shooting. Sayers was shot in the stomach and died on the scene. The two men knew each other prior to the shooting. Never mind. At the time of the shooting, no charges had been filed. But when I looked today, they had arrested a suspect. That's again another father killed trying to be a father. We can almost guarantee that all three fathers were paying child support. And we can guarantee that if any of those payments were missed, they would have been hunted by the child support workers, persecuted by the mothers and society, and prosecuted by the judicial system to the fullest extent of the law. But as we can see, these fathers want to be fathers. In most cases, mothers are allowed to alienate their children with zero repercussions. And in really contemptuous cases, fathers are killed in cold blood right in front of their children, who they are blamed to have left fatherless. Because these children, because they didn't live in the house with their children, these fathers, because they didn't live in the house with their children, are amongst the millions that are calculated in the number of children that they call fatherless, because they didn't live under the same roof as their children. So they're in this pool, in this calculation. So now their children are really fatherless. So they can stay in that number. They can stay in the number of millions that they were already included in. That's some bullshit. Now, if y'all think about it, that is bullshit. Okay, I'm about to get over there. This is fatherless stigma is placed on their children because they don't live. Oh, I just said that. And we know sharing the same house does not dictate fatherhood. But for decades, people have been pushing this narrative, and society has believed the nonsense. Everybody knows if you tell a lie long enough and uh, frequently enough, people believe it. People will start believing that lie, and that's what's happening here. We cannot continue to allow the pretend fatherlessness epidemic to continue while the government supports parental alienation and does nothing to help fathers from being killed in custody exchanges. If fathers aren't safe in police station parking lots, when an actual off-duty police officer is patrolling the parking lot, where are they safe? I want to send my condolences to all the families of the victims who have been murdered. I know you're not supposed to say murdered because they could be guilty. The shooters could be guilty of manslaughter or other charges, but to me, that's murder. Because I don't know for sure. Two of those men didn't have guns. One, the first story, maybe he had a gun, but we know the second story he didn't have a gun. Allegedly, I have to say allegedly. So, yes, I want to send my condolences out to the families and especially their children because they have truly been left fatherless. That's sad. Okay, let me go over to the comments, guys, before I check out. At least I got through the video. I'm happy for that. Let's see. Because I was going to send YouTube a very strongly worded letter. Get my 260. Okay. Very, very possible that mom allowed it. I mean, mom definitely allowed those boyfriends. The moms definitely allowed those boyfriends to be there when the boyfriends had nothing to do with it. In the future, if you having a custody exchange, you might love that man's dirty drawers, but leave him at home because that's not your child's father. He has nothing to do with what you and the child's father have going on, and vice versa. If the father has custody or the father has a child, leave your girlfriend at home. That starts so much shit when you bring an extra party in there, unless that's your wife or that's your husband and that's their step parent. I can see that. But if that's just your girlfriend or your boyfriend, leave them home. You don't have to bring them to stuff. Y'all are supposed to co-parent. Y'all need all that extra. And y'all know that the person doesn't like the other person, or they don't get along, or you know it's going to be some drama. Leave their asses home. How hard is that? Everybody want to be right. Everybody wants to be in control. Stop it. Let that man be a father to his child. You can't have it both ways. You want the child support, but you don't want him to be a father, but then you want to call him deadbeat and he don't do nothing for the stop it. And then these kids grow up damaged and y'all wonder why. Yeah, if they can prove that she was a accomplice or she has something to do, set it up in any way besides her driving the boyfriend there, of course she should be held accountable as an accomplice or whatever. I'm not paying child support. I didn't. Um, you can go. Don't put yourself on child support, King, but you can go and sign up to put yourself get visitation rights. But the first thing they're going to do is have you sign. You're going to have to establish paternity. Signing a birth certificate does not make you legally a father. It's called an acknowledgement of paternity, an AOP. If you look about 2 videos back, I did a video about not signing the birth certificate versus signing the birth certificate and AOP, and that'll give you some more insight. But whatever you do, do not put yourself on child support. That is not, even if you put yourself on child support, that does not guarantee, that has nothing to, child support has nothing to do with visitation. No, I don't know. What's that? Sages? I don't know that answer to that. I wish that you, truth teller, I don't know what your situation is, but if you can, go get shared parenting, joint custody. Oh, you don't know where they live. And so many, that's the situation with so many fathers. Unless there's abuse or something like that, fathers should be allowed to be fathers. It shouldn't even be, I don't even understand. And that's one thing, when I was first became aware of this being a situation, I'm like, why do fathers have to fight so hard to be fathers? Like, where, what? I didn't, excuse me, I didn't understand. Like, so I didn't know about, you have to establish um father, like you had to go to court, and there was time that you had to be awarded such time. And like, I didn't know anything about that, and I still don't know a lot about it, but I just don't get how you can dictate to one parent who's a great parent that they can't be a parent just because you had the child. Like, the child came out of my body, true, but that's still his father or her father. Why? What makes me any a better, or why am I giving all the rights to that child and he's not? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm ignorant in a lot of stuff. Some stuff I don't know. If you are thinking of harming yourself, you have to, there's a number to call, and I'm gonna look it up for you right now. Is, or you can go to the hospital, call 911, and they'll come get you. What is it? It is 1-800-273-8255. If anybody's feeling like they're want to harm themselves, you can always call the 800 number, or you can call 911. I'm putting the number in. 873-27. There's the number, truth. Let me see. Oh, you're welcome, Felix. We have to talk about these things. Now, if it's, and I'm for women's rights. Of course, I'm a woman, so I think everybody should be treated equally. I'm for equality in everything. Like, so a parent deserves equal rights to their child. Now, I understand child abuse and not everybody deserves to be a parent, because of how they treat their child. I get that. But if that's a loving parent and they want to be a father or a mother to their child, there's no reason why they should be denied that. I don't, because y'all break up, no. Mm-mm. We shouldn't have that much power over the other person because we reproduce. That's it. So that's it for me. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to. That's my stance on it. And uh, I'm doing more research. I'm working on a project. I was working on a project. I put that on hold because I want to explore this fatherlessness epidemic more and get to the origin of it. And I want to write about it. So that's what I'm working on now. So I'm doing a lot of research. I like to make sure my stuff is researched, and so there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So be looking for that. Hopefully, I'll have it out for you guys. I'm aiming for the end of May to have it all together and out for distribution. I would have to say, King, that a lot of these people out here are that. It's a lot of it's, and I think that's depending on what your age is. Like my age as 21, I'll say 25. Uh, it's up to us to like teach and give out what we have learned and give it give it to the younger people and try to so they learn, because a lot of times, I when we were growing up, a lot of stuff was going on. Like it was crazy. The 90s and the 2000s, it was a lot. So I feel like it's my responsibility, and I know there's other people that feel the same way, to educate, just pull the kid. I can't call them kids because they moms and dads too, but give them knowledge and let them know this. Don't do this. You can do that. Just like I'm saying, leave the boyfriend at home. He don't have to come. That's you and his daughter, or that's your child. You leave your man home. He'll be there when you get back if he love you. Oh, thank you, Emmanuel. Definitely. Yes. And if you need there's a lot of fatherhood programs and groups and organizations out here that if you need some support, they're out there, but you want to watch what they're telling you. Like if they're telling you that you need to put yourself on child support, run. Run. Because I don't believe in that. Like I'm so anti-child support, it's not even funny. Because you can take care of your children, and I don't care if you call them children. I'm always getting corrected on my words. Somebody said, I'm saying it wrong, they're not children. Well, they're children to me. You can call them the boy and the girl, the offspring, the this, that. I mean, I know that there's a lot of different things going on, but if you can take care of your kids outside of court involvement, you don't have to put yourself on child support to take care of your children. And where there's a will, there's a way. So you prepare yourself, you keep your receipts, you go in there and you tell them, I don't need you. Yeah, get your information. Collect your information. That's when they told me, no, you can't do that. And I mean, a lot of people told me that, and it took a long time. But sometimes things that of importance take a long time, and sometimes you have to keep fighting. It is what it is. A lot of people don't want to, They don't have time for that. But I do. I do. When I feel like my rights are being violated or somebody trying to, get over on me, or I'm not getting what, you know what I'm saying, then I got all kind of time. And with this child support shit, I had 8 years worth of time. I had 8 years worth of time. And them people still, I'm sure to this day, like, damn, why y'all ain't closed that lady's case? Shit. I'm sure somebody got fired. We can't shut that up. She just keep. But yeah, just keep fighting and make sure you do your research. Research is key. Always, Felix. Always. There's so many battles out here. Oh, thank you, Ra. Appreciate you. I've been wanting to talk about other stuff, but then because I got a lot of stuff to say, I was telling my mom, I said I was so focused on child support. That was what I just did for almost a decade. And then from before then, reading for my case and getting the book together. Just if you want my book, The Child Support Hustle, it's available on my website. You can get it on Facebook and on Instagram. But I've been doing this for so long. I just lived child support. So now I'm like, it's like I'm emerging from child support cave or something. So I have all these other issues. So I'm just like asking and like, okay, so what's this about? What's that about? So I got a whole bunch of shit to say. But I'm trying to see how I can like maneuver, and I wonder if people will listen, and how we can do an exchange about something if I'm talking about something else other than child support. And I think it'll be cool. That's what I'm talking about on Instagram. And I'm losing some people because they're like, wait, that's not child support. She's talking about something else. Oh, well, better get used to it. So thanks, guys. I'm glad they let me talk this time because I was getting frustrated. What is that? What is that? 5301. I don't know what that is. Do we still have Truth Teller? You still with us? Did you call the number? And if them organization, they asking you for money, um, for an automatic case closure, child support case closures, some people might get mad at me for saying this, but it is what it is. You pay this money, we get your case closed. If they're not guaranteeing it, and if they don't, and you ask them to produce proof that they closed their case, if they can't do stuff like that and they can't give you that kind of stuff, do not give them your money. Don't give them your money. And when people start saying, "Oh, you can do this or that," that's not how you do that. Ask them, is your case closed? Because a lot of people have a lot to say, but their case is wide open. Non-assignability and exempt status of benefits. What benefits? Military benefits? Thanks, Rob. So let me see. Yeah, I am too. He said I did it. You said I did a video about it. So you'll probably have to go back to that video I probably discussed it already, and if you look in the description, there's probably a link to exactly what you're talking about. So, okay, guys, you can head over to, if you want to read some of my articles, you can head over to my website. You want to follow me on Instagram, and I'll follow you back if you're not private. If you're private, I do not go and click and do all that kind of stuff. My Instagram, I change my name all the time. It's K Rahmaan, KROCKMON. Matter of fact, all my stuff is in my link tree, and that's in the description. So thanks for tuning in, and make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all know these are on, so y'all know when I go live, if they let me. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And don't forget to sign the petition. And don't forget to tell your friends to tell a friend to tell a friend to come and subscribe to my channel to find out the latest news, child support, and more. Okay? Have a good night. You're welcome. That's right, Felix. Thanks, Fred. Y'all have a good one now. Keep fighting.